Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today is a very exciting video. I finally have a new installment of my twins series. And if you don't know what that's about, if you haven't seen any of the previous videos, this is where I take two or more fragrances with a similar scent profile, compare them, tell you what's similar, what's different about them, and if I had to choose one, which one I would choose. So we have an interesting selection today. And in fact, today I have a few comparisons of flankers, and let's start with those. Now, the first pair that I want to compare is Erba Pura and Erba Gold from Zerof. In fact, this fragrance I shared with you in my latest haul, and I mentioned there that the new twins video will be coming out soon where I will talk more about this fragrance. So the time has come to compare these two. Now, I don't know if technically they're considered flankers. I don't know, but to me, they kind of are. Now, Erba Pura is probably the one that people know a lot more. It's been available for much longer, and I've had this one for a long time. This is sweet, fruity, and extremely musky scent profile. I know that this is a scent that not everyone enjoys. I still enjoy it very much. I always wear this fragrance in the summer. And although there are now quite a number of other fragrances with a very similar scent profile, to me, this one is probably still the favorite in this group and the one that smells the best. Now, let's talk about Erba Gold. Now, if I was to describe it in a few words, really, my description would be pretty much exactly the same. This is sweet, fruity, musky type of scent. So, are they identical or are there any differences? In my opinion, and again, I'm just going by how they smell to me. I'm not comparing their notes exactly. In my opinion, there is a difference. And here are the differences. Number one, I find Erba Gold a lot less musky. So if you found the musk in Erba Pura too much, too overpowering, which I know many people do, you might enjoy this one because in my opinion, it's much smoother than Erba Pura. Here's another difference. I find that the fruits in here are different, or maybe rather, there are some additional fruits in here that I don't get in the original. Specifically, I feel like there is this combination of mango, perhaps pineapple, but really mostly mango. Because in Erba Pura, I just get this fruit basket. I can't tell you which fruits are there. It's just lots of different fruits. And I still get a lot of fruits in here, but in addition to that, I feel like at the forefront of all of those fruits, I get mango. So there is a very clear mango note in here that I get in the gold bottle that I don't get in this one. And I find it to be a lot smoother and not so musky as the original. So that's why I have both. I mean, are scent profiles still similar? Yes, of course, they are similar. But like I said, there are some differences. For me, as a fan of the scent profile and as a fan of the House of Zerof, it is absolutely justified and worth having both. But I think for a regular person, you don't need both. You can choose one. So which one would I recommend out of these two? I would recommend this one, mostly because I find that it is better blended, less kind of punchy. Muskiness is a lot more subdued in this one. And so I think it will appeal to a lot more people. And then the fact that there is this really nice mango standing out from all the other fruits, this is just a nice bonus. I think this one is a lot more readily available these days, like it wasn't for a very long time, because the fragrance has been out for quite a while, but you can only get it, I don't know, it was exclusive to some store or boutique or something. It is widely available right now. So if you had to choose between the two, if I had to choose between the two, I would go with Herba Gold. Okay, let's take a look at two more flankers. We have Original Khamrah from Lattafa, and we have their newest release, Khamrah Kawa, again from Lattafa. You can see the bottles are the same, but you can see the difference. This one is kind of slightly darker. Yeah, slightly more, I guess, on the brown side. This is a little bit more orangey. Now, are these two similar? Yes, of course, they are similar. Scent profile is sweet, boozy, very creamy, a little bit fruity. That's how they come off to me. Not a dupe for Angel's Share. I will say it again. I say it every time that I talk about this fragrance. Despite what the bottle might suggest, this is not a dupe for Angel's Share to me. They smell quite different. That's why I'm not even comparing them to Angel's Share. I'm comparing them to one another. I have been obsessed with the original one ever since I got it. I love it so much, and that's why I had to get the flanker Kawa version. What's the difference? Well, based on the notes, the biggest difference is that this one has coffee note added in, and that's, you know, that's what the notes suggest. In reality, is that the case? Well, yes and no. Do I get coffee? Yes, but it kind of comes and goes. For me, coffee is not consistent there. Sometimes I get a whiff where I really feel coffee, and sometimes I get a whiff where I'm like, okay, where did the coffee go? So it's not quite as strong as I would like it to be. I wish the coffee element was a little bit stronger. Other than that, it is still that really creamy, sweet, boozy, fruity type of scent. But I would say that perhaps the creaminess and the sweetness are a little bit more amplified in the original compared to the flanker, the Kawa version. Like, I almost feel like the original is just a little bit denser than Kawa. Yes, that's how I would describe the differences. Now, these two are quite similar. Again, I don't think you need to have both. So, if I had to choose, which one would I go with? I think here I would go with the original. Although I do enjoy both, and I do wear both. Both my husband and I wear both of these. But I think I would prefer the original because, like I said, I feel like this one is a little bit denser and perhaps even performs a little bit better than the flanker. Maybe because I've had it for longer, although I think it was like this from the very beginning. So it is a little bit denser, and you know that sweetness and creaminess are a little bit more amplified here, and I enjoy that a little bit more. So if I was to choose one, I'm going with the original. Okay, we have another set of flankers. We have Nishane Ani and, of course, Ani X. Both are absolutely stunning fragrances. To me, they're both stunning, and I'm thrilled to have both of them. Ani has been a long love of mine. This fragrance, although it is very fresh and kind of pungent and maybe a little bit spicy in the opening, it has ginger, I think it has some citruses. I don't remember the exact notes, but despite all of that, to me, this is very much a vanilla scent. The most gorgeous, creamy, smooth, delicious, but not in a gourmand way type of vanilla. I just think Ani has one of the most beautiful vanillas I have ever smelled. And that initial freshness that you know, subdues as the fragrance dries down, adds something to this vanilla, kind of maybe tones it down a little bit, doesn't let it get too sweet. I don't know. But for me, this is one of the most beautiful, amazing vanillas that are not gourmand. Now, Ani X. These two, although it is recognizable that these are two flankers, I think these two are quite different. Like, they have significant differences to really justify, even for a regular person, to have both. I really do believe that. This fragrance also has that freshness, but it's much more subdued than in Ani. Like, it's not so pungent. It's not so masculine, let's say, because I know to some people, you know, that initial freshness, spiciness is very masculine. It is not here. Like, this is more concentrated on citruses rather than like ginger or spiciness or anything like that. And then in the same way, I feel like vanilla in here is subdued as well. Like, it's not as sweet, as dense, as creamy as it is in the original Ani. Now, don't get me wrong, it is still absolutely beautiful, but it is in a much more balanced way. Like, I think the freshness and the citruses and the vanilla are a lot more balanced and kind of rounded than in the original Ani. So again, I will say that to me, the differences between these two are quite noticeable, and I think it is justifiable to have both. But again, we're choosing here. So if I was to choose which one to get, just one, what would I go with? So I'm going to cheat a little bit here, because for me personally, although I love both, I think I would go with the original Ani. It's just, there is something, we have a connection. There is something special about it to me, and that's the one that I would choose. But if somebody asked me, recommend which one I should get, I think I would recommend Ani X, because I think it is more mass appealing. I think more people will enjoy this one because it is just smoother. It doesn't have the sharpness that some might find in Ani, you know? It is a lot more balanced. Yeah. So if I was recommending to someone to get one of these, I would say Ani X. For me personally, if I absolutely have to choose one, I would go with the original. Okay, another pair of flankers is from BDK, Pas Ce Soir, and I have a sample of Pas Ce Soir Extrait. This is a sweet, fruity scent with a very prominent note of quince. I love this one. I've enjoyed this one for a long time. This has been a long time favorite. And recently I got to sample the Extrait. What is the biggest difference? Well, the biggest difference, there are two really. One is that Extrait is just stronger. It is simply stronger, more potent. Everything, all the notes that are in this one are just amplified. They feel stronger, more pungent. And the other thing is that I think there is cocoa in here or something like that, but I get a bit of chocolate nuance in this one, especially in the opening and for the first couple of hours. That is the biggest difference. But overall, I think the two scent profiles are very similar. Very similar. Like, yeah, very similar. Now, which one would I recommend? Which one would I choose? For me, and what I would recommend to anyone, I would go with the original still, you know? The only caveat here I would say is that, you know, I've heard from many people that performance on this one is not great. If that's the case, then maybe X-Ray is a better version for you because it is stronger. But for me, Performance has always been very, very decent. Not beastly, but very good. So I would choose this one. You know, I am not sure that I am a big fan of the addition of this cocoa powder or whatever it is to this fragrance. Like something that gives it that chocolatey vibe, you know? Because I don't see a reason for it. Like, to me, it's not the best addition to this beautiful fruitiness of this scent. It doesn't make it bad, but it also doesn't make it any better, you know? So I don't really get it. So for me, I would recommend the original. And we have the last pair of flankers, I promise. And this is from Thomas Kosmala, Après l'Amour number 4, the original one, and number 4, Candy. Now, let's go through these quickly. This fragrance, the original, is really a take on Baccarat Rouge. You know, there is no way around it. It's not identical by any means, but it's a similar scent profile. It is much, much, much fresher and zestier. It's almost like there is lemon, lime, and almost like not just the actual juice, but like the zest of a lemon as well. Like it almost has a slight touch of bitterness to the citrusy nuance in here as well. So it doesn't have that cloying sweetness that Baccarat Rouge has. Instead, it has that real freshness and zestiness of citruses. But other than that, scent profile is very similar. Now, not long ago, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so, they came out with Candy. So what is the difference here? Well, the difference here is that there is a very, very strong fruity element to this fragrance. Like, again, I don't remember exactly what fruits are in here, but I think it's berries. It feels like it's mostly berries, like raspberries, strawberries, I don't know, lots of different berries, and they're very, very evident. So you have that kind of backbone of Baccarat Rouge and of the original Après l'Amour, but instead of that fresh, zesty citrus, here you have sweet, delicious berries that are very, very strong. So these are the differences between the two fragrances. If we're choosing, which one would I choose? This choice is actually easy for me. There is a clear winner between these two. I'm going with Candy. I love this one. Again, this was one of the fragrances that I got last summer, and I've worn it so much, and it shocked me how much I love it. Because the truth is the original, I don't wear all that much. This is mostly my husband's fragrance. It is just a little bit too sharp and too strong for me. This one is much smoother, much more wearable, much more mass appealing. I think that element of Baccarat Rouge is sort of less recognizable because of the strong element of these delicious berries. This one is gorgeous. In the summer, absolutely amazing. And as you can imagine, performance on both of these is outstanding. So yeah, if I'm choosing one, I'm definitely choosing this one. Okay, we are done with the flankers. Now I have a few other comparisons as well. And let's talk about these two. I think this is going to be a popular comparison. These are popular fragrances. Bon Bon Pop from the House of Wood and Gossip Night from Gritty. Both of these are centered around a peach. There is a very sweet peach in both. I think there is brown sugar. There are lots of other sweet notes, especially in Bon Bon, but like I'm getting that really sweet, honestly, almost artificial peach, but in the best possible way. but it's extremely sweet, has lots of brown sugar, maybe like whipped cream and vanilla and maybe caramel and who knows what. It's very, very sweet. I love this fragrance so much. It's so beautiful. Now, Gossip Night from Gritty. Well, similar in many ways. You also have that peach that's also sweet, but probably in Gossip Night it is a little bit less artificial and a little bit more realistic, I would say. Sweetness is subdued, although it still feels like there are a lot of sweet elements like brown sugar and vanilla and maybe something else, but the sweetness is a little bit more subdued, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit of floral elements somewhere in the background. So that's the difference in how they smell. There's also, to me, a big difference in the performance. Bon Bon Pop is very, very strong. It projects, it lasts, it's a great performer. Gritty, on the other hand, as has been my experience with majority gritty fragrances, to be honest, which is why I decluttered them, this is a much quieter scent. From the beginning, it doesn't project all that much, it doesn't last long, it's mostly a skin scent. So, here are the differences. Now, I don't think you will be surprised by my recommendation based on what I like. And I prefer stronger fragrances. So yes, I will definitely, hands down, recommend Bon Bon Pop. Not just because it's a much better performer, but because to me it is more delicious, it is more punchy, it is sweeter, and that's what I like. Despite the fact that, like I said, this has a slightly more artificial peach compared to Gossip Night, but still, when I put everything together, I prefer this one over Gossip Night. Okay, this brings us to the last comparison in this video, and this one is going to compare two extremely pricey fragrances. It is Pure Beluga from Guerlain, and it is Dans Paris from Celine. Both are very, very pricey. And they smell extremely similar. I mean, this is a very elegant vanilla with suede. Very smooth, very creamy. It feels like both fragrances have sandalwood or maybe even some addition of like orris root. That's what they smell like. Both are extremely smooth and elegant and subdued. Differences. Well, it's honestly hard to pick out differences. There's really only one that I can come up with, and that is that Dans Paris is a little bit fresher. It's almost like there is something fresh added to it. Maybe there is a bergamot. Maybe there is something green added to it. I'm not sure, but I feel like it is fresher and slightly airier than Pure Beluga. Other than that, they're very, very similar. So do you need to have both? I really strongly believe that you don't. And that is why I haven't pulled the plug on Dans Paris. I have a sample of that one, but I don't think I'm gonna, I like it. I like the scent very much, but I don't think I'm gonna get a full bottle because A, extremely expensive, and B, because it is so similar to Pure Beluga, which I already have. So if I had to choose one, I mean, in reality, this one is really a toss-up. Honestly, it is a toss-up. I don't know. You can't go wrong with either one, and both are super expensive, so I don't know. Okay, let's go with Pure Beluga. For me, although finding, this line of Guerlain is not super simple, but it is simpler than finding Celine. So Maybe that's why. I'm not sure which one is more expensive, but I feel like they're very close together. The price is very close. So yeah, I'm choosing this one just because I feel like this one is just a little bit very lightly stronger than Celine. So, but in reality, I'm splitting hairs here because these two are extremely close. And so you don't need to have both. But if you like this scent profile, you can't go wrong with either one. So there you go. These are our twins for today. Please let me know if you have tried any of these fragrances. Yeah, what do you think about them? And definitely let me know if you're still enjoying this series, because I've had it going for quite some time now. So let me know if you would like me to start thinking about the next installment. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, to subscribe, and to comment. And I will see you soon in the next one. Bye.